searching for a new Mazda or Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, why not shop at Freeman Mazda? Freeman Mazda of Irving, Texas has been a family-owned and operated business for over 60 years. They have new inventory arriving daily, especially for the new 2020 Mazda CX-5. I personally have a Mazda CX-6. I love how it drives, a luxurious type of feel without the luxurious price tag. So stop by Freeman Mazda in Irving, Texas today, or go to freemanmazda.net. What's going on, Jesse, my partner in crime? Jesse Holley here. After let me update the score. I'm probably like, what's going on here, man? Gotta update the score. Cowboys take the L, 29-31. We were close in regards to the score. We called it 31-24.
You said 24, I had 21.
And you had 31-21. Let me say this. The Cowboys put up a hell of a fight.
Yes.
I will say that. I'm sorry. They said the music is too loud. My apologies, guys. I thought the music was still on. But yes, this is the post-game show presented by Freeman Mazda, located out of Irving, Texas. Here we are, man. Here we are. Cowboys 29, Buccaneers 31. I told you I might not have a voice, and I'm fighting through it. It was a hell of a game, man. One hell of a game. I thought Dak did exactly what you said, Jesse.
Herculean.
Was Herculean. Was absolutely
Hercules.
What's your thoughts right off the bat about this football game?
First thing that comes to my mind, and my good friend Bobby Belt said this, this is the 18th straight loss for the Cowboys when they do not score 30 points or more.
Jesus.
And that particular stat stings me because I remember saying that 2 years ago. Well, we won't get into that.
I remember when
we won't get into that. But I'm here. I'm here at A to Z, so that's all that matters.
Right.
But yeah, and this isn't a game. We came into this game and there were a ton of question marks about this Cowboys team, correct, both offensively and defensively, and special teams. And I think we had some of those answered. One, Dak is back.
Dak is back.
Dak is worth every single dime that you paid him. He took hits. He scrambled. I don't know for him throwing for almost 60 times in this game is what the recipe is.
No.
But I said in the pregame show this was going to have to be a Herculean effort by Dak Prescott. And my goodness, he gave you when you leave this field,
yeah,
you want to leave with the feeling that I gave every single thing that I had to win a football game. I think Dak Prescott did that, left everything that he had on the football field. But again, we come back to the same thing that we've talked about the most. When we need our defense to step up. Now, they had 4 turnovers today. They criticized. But when you have 4 turnovers, when you lead in every statistical category, they pushed in rushing yards. They led in passing yards. They led in the turnover margin. They led in the time of possession. Every single margin that you can win in everything, the Cowboys were winning. Except when you come down to the point where I need a stop.
Yep.
I need a stop. I don't care how you manufacture it. I don't care how you come up with it. I don't care. I don't give a damn who comes up with the stop.
Nope.
I just need my team to make a stop. Now, there are a lot of good things in this football game, and I'm not going to be Debbie Downer in this whole situation. But we are sitting here after another heart-wrenching, heartbreaking loss because between Greg Zuerlein, those 4 points matter.
4 points matter.
Those 4 points matter. When people think special teams aren't special, those 4 points sure hell would have given us
would have won.
We would have won.
I mean, granted, Tom, they could have tried for a touchdown, but nonetheless.
But then on defense, you just need that stop. And I said it. I tweeted about it. I said there are 2 quarterbacks in the league that I fear. We talked about the fear factor. That I fear with time on the clock, the ball in their hands, and the opportunity for go win the game. And they both were number 12. And we've been beat by one already in Green Bay several times. And the last time Tom Brady had us on the ropes was when he was in New England.
Tom's done it in New England.
And he walked it down the field and left us with no time left on the clock, just like he did tonight.
I talk about this a lot on the channel, Jesse. I said, people can't throw out the words, oh, the Cowboys have had top 10 defenses. My question has always been, in what?
Right.
You need to be top 10 in things that matter. I don't care if you're top 10 in yards. I don't care if you're top 10 in even, honestly, turnovers. You need to be elite in turnovers. You could be number 9 in turnovers. It doesn't matter. Be number 1 in turnovers. The things that matter to me of being in the top 10, red zone defense, okay? Red zone defense, scoring points. And here's one I kept saying. I need this defense to come up clutch.
Yes.
I've not seen the defense be able to come up clutch against good teams in the last half decade. People keep harping on the Saints game, but they had a chance today. And I won't be Debbie Downer either. I won't be Debbie Downer. 4 turnovers. You got to love it. You saw a little bit of pass rush from the edges, not much in the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. You saw them be really good against the run, in my opinion, but we talked about this during the game. Are teams looking at this game and going to say, do I even have to run?
Right.
If you're going to trot out number 30, do I even have to run? If you're going to trot out number 26, do I even have to run? And if I'm watching this, no. If you, Justin Herbert, why run? He can throw the rock. I'm just going to mouse in the house, right? Mouse in the house. Now, before I get too far, I got to ask you and I got to ask everyone out here in the chat. Week 1, 2020, number 13, Michael Gallup. Dak Prescott, clutch 40-yard play to put the Cowboys in position to win. They call an offensive pass interference on a bogus call where Jalen Ramsey held his hand and 13 didn't do anything. Fast forward, a year later, week 1, number 14 for Tampa Bay, literally pushes off. There's no call. I don't like to go back and do this whole thing with the refs, but I got to ask you in the chat, was that a push-off?
Yeah, to me, it was. To me, it was a push-off, but I also understand and know when you're facing a Tom Brady football team, the likelihood of you getting that pass interference called, that offensive pass interference, is slim to none.
Slim to none.
And you're fresh out of slim. That's just the way that the cookie crumbles a lot of times. You know, when you go back to Michael Gallup, there's this unspoken, and it's in every single sport. It's in every single sport, and I know that Cowboy fans right now aren't the happiest about it. But you can go to baseball, pitchers, sometimes they're able to have that strike zone a little bit bigger when your name is Pedro Martinez, when your name is Kurt Schilling, when your name is Randy Johnson, when your name is Andy Pettit, right? Michael Jordan gets that call. Kobe Bryant gets that call. LeBron James gets that call. And so there's certain times when you go out there and you're a rookie or you're a second-year guy and you quite haven't established yourself yet, going up against a veteran guy who might have a little bit more skins in the game, maybe a couple Pro Bowls under his belt, those calls tend to go their way in certain situations. Now, I'm not saying that it's right.
No.
I'm not saying that it's right, but it happens.
It's the truth.
It happens for us, and it happens against us. That's the nature of the beast. Again, right now, you don't want to hear it from me. But you can look across the sports landscape, and a lot of times there are certain players or certain teams or certain guys, whatever it may be, that get or don't get certain calls called for them or against them in those crucial moments.
And as my guy Woody said, he can't be too upset because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a lot of penalties today. They had 11 penalties for 106 yards. So it wasn't like they weren't calling these penalties on Tampa, but Dallas just couldn't get the one they really, really needed. Now, as we're watching the final drive of the game, it was evident that everyone here and everyone at home was screaming, you got to connect on the 3rd and 6. You can't give 12 extra time. And they didn't get it done. But Greg Zuerlein did come through with the kick. So I talked about moral victories.
There's no such thing as moral victories.
I talked about moral victories.
There has never been on any day that ends in the letter Y a such thing in professional sports
and you know what?
As a moral victory.
I'm with you today. I don't feel like this is a moral. I don't feel like what did you win here? You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel devastated, and they probably feel devastated with this loss. So while going into the game, it sounds good, but when you come out of it, you never feel like this is a moral victory.
You should be devastated because when you create 4 turnovers,
you should win.
When you control the clock,
you should win.
When you have less penalties, when you throw for more yards, when you have a wash at the running game. I mean, everything And every other time when you have these numbers in your favor, and this seems like a recurring theme when it comes to the Cowboys. We beat you up and down the field, left and right, all across the board, and come out with a loss. So there is a level of frustration because you got two receivers who are over 100 yards. Again, you have a quarterback who has a over 100 passer rating. You have 400 yards by Dak Prescott. Again, I told you, he needed a Herculean effort, and by gosh, he gave you a Herculean effort. You had some good plays all across the board, created some turnovers, did some things, and you leave the game empty without a victory when everything says, if you're doing the numbers and the statistics and what the percentages says, percentages say the Dallas Cowboys should be victorious.
Yeah.
But here they are headed back to Dallas with an L.
The difference in the game is the red zone. Dallas was 1 for 4 in the red zone tonight. And
again, a recurring theme for the Dallas Cowboys.
Recurring themes, guys. Red zone offense. This is the red zone defense, and the defense just not coming up clutch when they need to. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it says they were 3 for 5, but in reality, they were about to be 3 or 4 for 4. And then Godwin had the fumble, right? Like Godwin was on his way for a touchdown, and KZ made an amazing play. But the defense in the red zone, and I say this all the time, these are the categories I care about, Jesse. Be great on defense. Be great on third down. Be great in the red zone. Get to the quarterback. Be clutch. That's what I care about. I don't care about yards.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. And today, even in the yards category, Tom Brady was just phenomenal. They had over 431 total yards, and most of that was in the air. Most of that was in the air. And there was at one point where Tom had 13 completions for 3 touchdowns. So the defense was getting abused. Ezekiel Elliott. This clearly wasn't an Ezekiel Elliott game. And we talked about this in the pregame. We talked about this all week. I didn't think that Kellen Moore was going to come out here and say, hey, we're going to ease it in here with Dak Prescott.
Mike McCarthy said in the press conference earlier in the week, he said, 2 weeks ago, we want to be balanced. We're going to play 65, 70 snaps. Yeah. We want to be balanced. We want to run the ball 30 times. We want to pass the ball 30 times. We don't want to have an unbalanced game. Yeah. You threw the ball for 58 times and you ran the ball for 18. I'm not the greatest when it comes to math, but that ain't balanced to me. That scale look a little bit off to me.
That make it even worse for you. Dak had some rushes, so I don't even count that.
He had 4.
They had 14 running back carries today, and I think half of those, if not more, were up the middle. I kept screaming at the TV. Jesse kept screaming, stop running up the gut. You're running into the teeth of the defense. When was Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard getting off on the edges? And they never kept attacking that. So while I think that Kellen Moore started off pretty solid, right? Had a razzle-dazzle plays. I did like how he came out. I think he got away from him real fast. And it got to the point where he was like, you know what, Dak? You're going to have to be Herculean.
Yeah.
Leonard Fournette had 9 carries, 32 yards. Rojo is what they call him, 4 carries for 14 yards. So I think the defense on that side of the ball played well. But if you go down this list here in the air, Antonio Brown, 5 receptions, $121 in the tutty. Chris Godwin, 9 receptions, 105 in the tutty, almost had 2 touchdowns. Rob Gronkowski may have been the player of the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he just continued to make clutch catches.
He is the definition he is the Batman. He's a Robin to Tom Brady's Batman. He is clutch when you need him to be clutch. Everything we want our defense to be, Rob Gronkowski finds a way to be clutch for his homeboy, Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady he pulled it right out. I'm looking here in the chat right here. Reaper says short passes and screens were the run plays. They didn't do enough of that, though. They didn't do enough of, in my opinion. When every time they did it, it was successful.
Right.
And I kept saying, and we talked about this during the offseason, Ezekiel Elliott, 2 receptions for 6 yards. 2. Tony Pollard, 4 receptions for 21 yards. His longest was 11. So I don't understand why you didn't go back to that well, Reaper.
And I think once you lost Michael Gallup, you should have kind of went more into that bag. You should have went more to getting the ball to guys like Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott in space.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a lot of what Tom Brady wants to do. Lift the defense, get the ball to his playmakers in space, and allow them to do what they do. But like you said, I think this game kind of got away from Kellen Moore a little bit. But I do want to give some flowers. And we were skeptical coming into this game. And I'm not saying that they had a Herculean effort or a Herculean performance, but I think this O-line played solid.
Well, Vita Vea.
Well,
it destroyed it at the end.
Giving some room for error.
Yeah.
Vita Vea started saying, "Okay, I'm 350, and I'm a mountain of a man, and I'm just going to pick you up and walk you to the back." But for the most part, protecting Dak for 58 passing plays and him only being sacked once with an offensive line that we were kind of a little bit shaky about.
Yeah.
I think they held their own up against a really good defensive front.
The offensive line played well enough to win the game.
Yes.
And that's all you want, because last year in 2020 that wasn't the case. Right, you had Terrence Steele out there, you had Brandon Knight out there, and they were literally losing the game for you offensively. So I have no problems with the way the offensive line played today, but I have to give hat tip to Vita Vea, man. I mean, my goodness, he literally took over the game the last 2 possessions, and I think that helped not. The Cowboys didn't score a touchdown, in my opinion, because Vita Vea was just that damn dominant. Oh my gosh.
And again, not to sound repetitive or not to keep repeating ourselves, it was clutch.
Yeah.
When you needed your guy to be the guy, he was the guy. And he moved that pocket, and he literally was taking Connor and Biotish and walking them into the backfield where Dak Prescott didn't have an opportunity to truly step up into his throws, and he airmailed some of them.
No, and that was the opposite effect on the defensive side of the ball. The Cowboys weren't getting enough pressure up the middle.
We don't have a Vita Vea.
You're right. This is true. But I'm not going to hold you. Maybe I put too much expectation on the rookies. And let's talk about that real quick. Micah Parsons and Osa Odighizuwa. Osa was literally quiet tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not saying I'm down on Osa, y'all. That's not the case. I just thought that Osa could maybe find a little bit of pressure up the middle. That didn't happen. And Micah had a couple welcome to the NFL rookie moments.
Yeah, expected. Like we knew, at least I did. You can see the potential in Micah Parsons, right? Yeah. He has all the intangibles. But it's a different situation when you got to go up against Tom Brady, Gronkowski, and all the other guys that he has on that football team. It's different. This ain't Happy Valley. This ain't, you're not going up against Wisconsin. You're not going up against Nebraska. Minnesota. Like you're going up against the GOAT. And so for him, and he said it before in Hard Knocks, it's a win-win for me. Either we win the game and, I learn, or we lose the game and I learn. And so at times when you're a young pup, sometimes the OG's got to put you over their lap and kind of just spank that butt a little bit and say, hey, now you know. And I hope for Micah Parsons' future that he's able to take in this game and not look at it for him as a loss, but as a teaching tool.
Right. And
that's important for a rookie. When the coach goes in and tries to walk you through those things, you don't have to have a rebuttal for everything that he says. Listen, understand, take the corrections, and get ready for San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, it happened almost right off the bat where Tom Brady, he just buzzed it right off he probably gave him a nice little lineup or an edge up, a little fade right off of Parsons' ear, and boom, right away we said, welcome to the NFL.
Right.
Welcome to the NFL. I'm looking in the chat. It looks like a lot of people are mistaking what we're saying about the run game. If you were watching the show here, pregame show, I never expected the Cowboys to come out here and run the ball 30 times. Right. I didn't think that was going to happen today. But what I didn't expect them to do is keep banging their head against the wall up the middle against Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh. That is where their strength lies, and the Cowboys kept doing it, and I think it bit them in the butt a little bit. But let me tell you this right now, man. Looking in the chat here, Dak Prescott, everyone's talking about Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott came out here today, in my opinion, and showed you that you need to put his name in the upper echelon of the NFL. I truly do believe that.
Now, when you say upper echelon, let's talk about that echelon.
Yeah.
What other names are in that upper echelon that we're talking about we should put him in?
I mean, you have the Tom, you have the Aaron Rodgers, the Pat Mahomes, right? I would imagine those are the three. here's those guys, and let's talk about everybody else, right? Unless you want to put Russ up there.
You can put Russ up there.
I think Dak and Russ, I don't see a difference right now.
You don't?
I think Dak and Russ are equally as good right now.
Okay.
I do. But if you want to put Russ up, that's fine. After that, Dak Prescott needs to be mentioned. He needs to be mentioned.
Okay.
I think that Dak came out here tonight and
So you mean like in the echelon a bit lower than the upper echelon? You mean like the medium echelon?
So
is that a such thing? Did I make that up? Did I make that up?
I think you made that up.
The medium echelon?
The medium echelon. No, I'm not putting him in the medium. Medium echelon to me is Baker Mayfield type of guys.
I think it's the lower echelon.
I think Baker will be, what, like 13, 14 or something like that?
So the medium.
No.
The medium echelon.
You would consider 5th or 6th medium?
If we got 5 in the upper echelon.
Dak, did you hear what I said? Russ, Patty, Tom, Aaron. I personally think Dak is – people are going to say it was Allen, right? Some people are going to say Watson. I think Dak is –
Yeah, I won't agree with you there.
Where do you have Dak? I mean, I know this is
in the middle echelon, like under the upper echelon.
Like 9th, 10th?
We can even go 7th, 8th.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have him in the middle. Like he's not in the top tier.
You know the word I'm avoiding because it's a buzzword. The term elite.
No, elite guys win the football game. I'm just saying. We saw the elite guy. He wore number 12. And it's making it's making and doing everything that you have to do to help your team win a football game. That puts you in that category. And for me, I think Dak does a lot of good stuff.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Except the
So you're not wrong, but here is why this sucks for him. Because this continues to happen. I'll go back to last year against the Seattle Seahawks. Dak goes down, gets the game-winning drive. Well, not the game-winning drive. Gets the go-ahead drive. The defense does what? Gives up a 4th and 3. And Russell Wilson looks like the hero, right? And then this year, same difference here. Dak goes down, gets the go-ahead drive, and Tom Brady gets a chance. I'll tell you this. If Dak Prescott had 1 minute and 46 seconds left, I think the same thing happens.
You do?
Yes. Now, it would have been up to Greg Zuerlein to get the job done, but how can we think otherwise? Look what he did just the previous possession.
Again, I don't want to sound like I'm bagging on Dak because I'm not. I think he's a fantastic
I hear what
quarterback.
you're saying. Bottom line business.
I just think, and people, you can come whatever metrics you want to come with. Okay, I'm not smart enough for that. I don't live in that metrics world. I can barely turn a computer on. When it comes to that fear factor, when it comes to that clutch factor, when it comes to closing the coffin, and that's regular season, and that is playoffs, he's not in the conversation with the other name that you named.
Yeah,
he's under that. I'm not saying that he's deep under that, but I'm saying if middle echelon is a word, he's middle echelon. To me, upper echelons is reserved for those guys that you named.
I'm struggling with this one because at the end of the day, it's not getting done, but I still feel like he's putting the team in position to get it done.
And here's the thing about quarterback. It sucks.
Yeah, because
you take all of the blame when the thing doesn't go right, but you get all of the credit when it does go right. And that's why they pay you $160 million to shoulder that load of the pressure of being a quarterback. And it's not always right, because you're saying, well, how can he be judged because of what the defense doesn't do and CeeDee Lamb dropped the pass? I get it. I understand it. But that's just the nature in the world that we live in when you're talking about judging a player and putting him in a certain category. You put him in that category because at the end of the day, their signature is stamped on that game, and it comes out with them being a W.
I'm trying to find a hole here, but it's when you think about it, Aaron Rodgers, we're all scared, right? Tom Brady, when he
we knew it. Come on, right. We knew what that was. I looked up and said 1:43 and a timeout.
On the Dallas defense at that.
Jesus Christ.
On the Dallas defense at that. But as this was happening, I'm sitting here saying to myself, I wish this was Dak in that situation, because I trust him to go down and get it done more than I trust the Cowboys defense to go down and get a stop. And I try to pump us up on Twitter, right? Come on, defense, close it. But this is a reoccurring theme It just is, and I don't know what else to do here. I mean, I asked you, I said, Jesse, what defense are they playing here? He said prevent. Is that the right call at that point moment?
Well,
against Tom?
Well, here's the thing. It's almost, you go back to pick your poison. Do I want to let Tom Brady have enough time to throw over my head with Evans and Godwin and Scotty and Gronk and AB? Because if I do that, if I come up and I pressure at the line of scrimmage,
he's going to do what he did in the red zone, which was like taking candy from a baby on that. I mean, you cannot match up Gronkowski against DeMarcus Lawrence and expect to be successful.
And even in the fourth quarter, he had a pass down the sideline that him and Antonio Brown was kind of just off in connection. But they were in single coverage, and he had the sideline. Antonio Brown did the wrong route. And that may have been a connection there. So,
well, if we're keeping it 100, the play he threw to Godwin was one of those situations where, all right, one-on-one, cool, I'm just going to throw it up. My guy's better than your guy.
Right.
And I feel like the my guy's better than your guy thing is going to happen quite often this year with the secondary. I've been saying this all offseason because the Cowboys didn't make the necessary improvements in the secondary. I said that the front seven is going to have to be elite to good.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw 94 screaming off the edge. I saw number 90 screaming off the edge. But what I didn't see was the interior pushing the pocket back into Brady's lap enough. When I did see the pressure, I thought it came from the stunts. I didn't see enough of the stunts later on. What happened to the stunts? You know what I mean? Get the games going because there's not much you're going to get Tom Brady. You're not going to trick him on the back end. Mm-hmm. He's seen all that. But I don't need to trick Tom Brady with the stunts. I just need to get the offensive lineman to take one misstep so I can get 94 to get that inside. And
that is the difficult part when you're dealing with the professor. When you're dealing with
he was calling that all the time. The professor right there.
When you're dealing with a dude who has a PhD, a doctorate in this game of football, it becomes so difficult because he ain't holding that football. He ain't sitting back there patting that football. All right, he ain't jerking that football off. He get that football and it is gone. Before you get around the edge, that football is already out of his hands. Quick. And that has been his calling card forever. Because he's like, listen, I can't do nothing with it. Let me get it to the other guys who actually have the opportunity to do something with it. And it comes out, bam, 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 bam. And before you know it, he's 40, 50 yards down the field in 5 plays.
They showed the stat today. He was the only quarterback to be top 5 in average yards per pass and top 5 in quickest time to get the ball off. That's ridiculous when you can have a depth of 9 yards and still get the ball off. We did get a super chat here from Quincy Sands, $5 donation. Thank you, brother. He said, Dak had the winning drive tonight, 16-18 in the playoffs. I think he's talking about his performance in the playoffs. Difference is Brady always has an elite defense to help. Dak is elite, our D is not. Also, Dak don't kick. I mean, that's another thing that you brought up was the special teams. 4 points. I mean, I know it's easy to say now, but 4 points, that's the game.
But again, what did you mention earlier in the what you call it? Red zone scoring.
Red zone scoring.
That's on Dak.
1 for 4.
That's on Dak, right? Make the right reads, make the right calls, get touchdowns.
Yeah, there was a play. Now I will be critical if I'm going to be fair here, where I didn't see it from the one angle where Dak got it out to the flat to Ezekiel Elliott, and we thought Zeke was going to turn up and score, but he ran out of bounds. And I'm like, they showed the other angle. I'm like, Dak, what you waiting for? That's the difference with Brady, right? Brady would have fired that out there
and giving him an angle to catch the ball
and get it
upfield.
I think when it comes to the rollouts, what I'm noticing with Dak, and I'll go back and watch the game again. He's always looking, and this is maybe the read. You tell me if this is the read on the rollouts. I know Jason Garrett, I think, has some of these play designs. Deep, middle, and then you're let out.
Right.
But I think there's times where in your head you got to realize if Zeke is one-on-one in that flat, forget trying to get it to Blake Jarwin in the back of the pylon. If I get it to Zeke, it's the same difference. He can get it and go up the field. And I think Brady sees it before it even happens.
And that's the difference. Yeah. I'm not saying when you talk about the upper echelon, it's not a country mile.
No.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying Dak is way down here and those other names are way up here. It's not a large margin, but it's plays like that where, you know what? I know what the progression says, but I'm getting it right now to 21 so he can turn up the field and go get a touchdown.
Yeah, that was probably the most frustrating play for me.
And those small little things, and that's what anything in the National Football League, right? Everyone in the National Football League is quote-unquote elite. There's only 1,500 of these players in the world, Craig. In the whole world. Right? Yep. And so that tells me that you're at an elite level, and I don't care if you're a special teams guy or just whatever it is, you get to the NFL, you're an elite level talent. The difference between the guys who get a chance to put on a yellow jacket and the guys who don't is not that far of a difference. It's some skill, it's some scheme, but when you look at it across the board, the talent level ain't this country mile worth of stuff. No. So when it comes to Dak, I'm not saying he's bottom of the barrel. He's bargain shopping. It's those small things that happen in a football game that can take you from this to that in that upper echelon.
Now, there were some small things, problems that I had with the red zone that was beyond that one play with Dak. I mean, like you said, Dak was Herculean, right? Like, this is nothing. Like, this game is not on him. I didn't like necessarily, once again, the play calling by our, what did you call him, Boy Wonder in the red zone. If you're going to run one of those plays where you're pitching it out to Zeke and you're asking the tight end to get out there, kick out, and get one of the DEs or what have you, and it wasn't even a DE, it was a dang on corner. Why are you bringing in the weakest blocking tight end to do it? Send Dalton Schultz out there and get him up on somebody, and Zeke likely scores a touchdown. That was one of the worst blocks I've seen from Blake Jarwin in his career here in Dallas. And I don't know if I'm not going to put everything on Kellen with that one, but that's just one of those things where get the right personnel out there, right? Like, get the right personnel out there.
I'm never a fan when we get in the red zone and we want to bring bigger bodies in the game. I just think spread these guys out and make them have to bring in guys who are less willing to stick their nose in and tackle. I like that better than bringing tight end. I'd rather have 4 receivers out there. Spread them out, and now you got to bring in dime and nickel package. And then now you can have a play like that. And even if the tight end or receiver doesn't get the all the way block on that, right, I'm dealing now with maybe a nickel or dime type guy trying to tackle Zeke, and I like my chances there.
Okay, Stevie Mack says Schultz was in on that play. Well, then what's the other cat's name? Jeremy Sprinkle should have been in there then. Jeremy Sprinkle should have been in there. Mr. Master says Dak did his thing here. Anthony Brown sucked tonight, says Mr. Master. You know what's funny? This is how worked AB got tonight. He had 11 tackles. He led the team. And he didn't lead the team in a good way. He got picked on. I can't wait to go see exactly how many times he was targeted and how many times they caught the ball on the guy.
I think AB had 17. Was it 17 targets?
Let's see here.
I think AB had 17 targets tonight.
No. Godwin almost had 7.
Okay.
Yeah, Godwin had 14 targets. AB was ridiculously efficient. 7 targets, 5 receptions, $121, and a tutty. I mean, they just abused. Honestly, to keep it real, I know that Lewis got the fumble recovery, picked it up, and all that, whatever. AB and Lewis got abused. We talked about mouse in the house in the pregame. They were the mouse in the freaking house, and whoever the hell was guarding Gronkowski. Keanu Neal, he was around the ball, but Keanu Neal can't guard Gronkowski. I wonder if we'll start to see, and this is early, Cox come in, right? Jabril Cox, and start to be that guy to try to get at the tight ends. I really didn't see many safeties guarding them. The safeties were non-existent tonight.
Here is, I guess, a little chicken soup for your soul. You probably won't play a more potent offense the rest of the year. With that many weapons?
Kansas City.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. You're absolutely right.
But that's it. Yeah.
I apologize. You're right. I forgot about those juggernauts.
Right, we forgot we played them. Yeah,
right.
No, you're right.
But as far as like the weapons that they have, they didn't even like. In the back of my mind, I was like, man, Scotty Miller coming in and working underneath might be a problem too.
And he caught the ball.
Right.
They caught it back though.
You know, I'm like, he didn't even really get in his bag like that. So for the Cowboys defense, you saw the best tonight. Like that is offensively, that is the upper echelon. Right? Everything else is
the standard.
That's the standard. So now you can hang your hat on, okay, we hung around in some areas with that team, with that quarterback. Now a different team will bring different, like the Chargers will bring they're going to pass the ball. Okay, Justin Herbert's going to throw the ball around the park with those receivers. But you hope that there was a huge learning curve that happened tonight in Dan Quinn, in the DBs, in this entire team as they get ready to take on San Diego next week.
You got me. See, honestly, what you just said has me encouraged. And again, I'm done. I'm retiring the word moral victory. And I didn't even want to use it earlier, but I didn't know how else to explain it. You know what I mean? I didn't know how else to explain, hey, if you don't get it done, here it is. How did we get to the result, right? The process to the result. Can you take away some positives from that? And I think you can come out this game and do it. And here's why I feel encouraged. I'll bring up if somebody wants to do it for me here, but I'll bring up the schedule for the Dallas Cowboys, right? Because you just got me thinking, and it kind of got me excited here. Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, Danny Dimes, Mac Jones are your next 5 quarterbacks. They aren't coming close to being what Tom Brady can do to you. So I feel like the only concern I have coming out of this game defensively, and I think the pressure up the middle will come, is I don't trust AB and Jordan Lewis moving forward. I honestly don't care who they're guarding. I feel like if a quarterback puts it in that area, that's a loss. You know what I mean? And how do you address that? Bossman Fat's not coming back for 3 weeks. Maurice Kennedy, which I cannot believe he sat the bench for the second half, didn't play. Are they going to make that adjustment moving forward? You're going to call Richard Sherman? They're not going to call Richard Sherman at this point. So now let's see Dan Quinn make an adjustment, right? How do you combat that you are, I'll just use the word, terrible at cornerback 2? How do you combat that, Jesse?
It goes back to your earlier point. You try to continue to get pressure up front.
Pressure.
And Tom Brady, even though he got the ball off quickly, there were times where he had time for things to develop. And anytime you give a quarterback like that 3, 4, 5 seconds, it makes it very difficult to defend anyone. And there were times where he didn't need 3 or 4 or 5 seconds where he was able to just get the ball out. So I think the biggest adjustment is, you come back to the drawing board and you just say, hey, you had a piss poor performance. And now maybe you look at Maurice Kennedy in practice this week. And maybe you shift some things around, because this is the great thing about the season being here is you got another one in about 10 days.
Yeah, and you got time, go back, you can get rest, get some people healthy. I'm not sure, maybe the people are listening to Mike McCarthy now. I don't know what KZ's looking like. It looked like he might have just kind of got the wind knocked out of him on that block there, but it seems like aside from Michael Gallup, he came out of this thing semi-healthy. Right now, Michael Gallup loss could be big. I
don't know what Dak's arm's going to feel like tomorrow after throwing the ball for 58 times. That's going to be that. That's going to be an interesting development.
Yeah. I think it'll be fine.
You think so?
Yeah, but you can't throw the ball 60 times a game. However,
we're going to see what happens. See, the NFL, we got some strong medicine that they shoot in your body.
Man, listen.
That you don't really feel nothing in the time.
Listen.
But then when it wear off, when you're on that plane ride back home, I'm just telling you.
Nobody knows more than you.
They shoot some good stuff in you, bro.
You played in a game.
They shoot some good stuff in you.
Where the quarterback got shot up, and he went out there with broken, punctured lung ribs and still played because he got shot up.
That's what I'm telling you how good the stuff is.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't feel nothing until it's – and then they only can give you a certain amount. They got to time it out. You get a little bit in the first half, a little bit in the second half.
You think he got a little something?
1,000% he got something. There's no doubt in my mind.
60 throws. Oof.
There's no doubt in my mind that before that game and at halftime, he took a little something. He was Herculean, but he ain't Hercules. He took something.
He threw 40 passes by halftime.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on pace to throw the ball over 60 times a day. The only reason why he didn't was because he didn't get the rock last.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why he didn't. I mean, you got to switch that up. But I will say this, like I've been saying, Jesse, this is a week-to-week league. That's how, as a fan, I came to that conclusion a few years ago. I said, you know what? Have your emotions 24 to 48 hours and then move on to the next week, because it is a week-to-week league. But what was happening was the Cowboys, in my opinion, weren't playing like that or weren't coaching in that way. There's a famous quote that Jason Garrett always says, no matter where we're at, in the parking lot, on the moon, at home or away, we're going to play the way we play no matter what. I don't believe in that facet. I don't believe in that facet at all. I believe in matchups make the game, right? And this matchup dictated that Ezekiel Elliott wasn't going to run for $150.
Right.
My buddy texted me, he said, hey, he had a parlay. I said, your parlay looked good, except you got Zeke for going over 50. I said, I'm a little nervous about that. He said, yeah, but man, it's 50 yards. I said, yeah, but this rush defense is real, okay? This run defense is real. And what happened, Zeke didn't even crack 40. So my bad, brother. I tried to tell you if you lost that parlay. So it's a week-to-week league, and I have to go and look at the Chargers. But we were kind of talking ahead of time, and the Chargers, their actual strength is in the pass defense, right? Derwin James and their cornerbacks. Joey Bosa can get after you, right? So this may be a game where Zeke is going to run. And I'm not going to get too ahead of ourselves. But this is a week-to-week league, and this week, yes, it had to lean on Dak, but damn it, did it have to lean on him for 60 times? Whew. It did. I mean, that's the question was answered. It had to lean on him for 60 times.
You had to, and I think –
unfortunately,
winning this game would have meant so much to this football team, to the confidence of this football team, to the football fans. Like, we were here at Texas Live, and we were in the Revolver Brewery, and, I mean, the place was erupting. You were jumping around like a kangaroo in here,
dog.
And this place was electric.
Can't lie.
So imagine if this thing would have ended with the Cowboys with the W. Think about how this fan base would have felt. Now take that to the guys who are actually putting in the work and how they would have felt. They would have felt like you already go into this, like any player in any sport that says, oh, well, we don't listen to what people say, we're not. Shut up. You're a liar.
We know that's a lie, Jesse.
Every TV in the locker room, in the training room, everywhere is on one of these four. Your cell phone is on one of these four. So you knew that the world has already against you. You knew everybody outside of Michael Irvin and Jerry Jones picked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this football game. If you would have pulled that off, that would have done something to your team's morale. And I'm not saying a moral victory on the positive side, but going on the road, beating a defending Super Bowl champion, that gives you a level of confidence that can springboard you into several wins down the road.
And I think after the defeat wears off in the next 24 to 48 hours for Dallas Cowboys, I think they'll go back and they'll see, you know what? Like I said, Sam
we
Darnold,
went toe-to-toe.
Daniels and Hurts, and who's next week? Justin Herbert. That's not Tom Brady. You know what I mean? That's not Tom. There's no Vita Vea and Dominic Sue and JPP and Shaq Barrett they're going up against. And they put up 29 points. Granted, should have been more. 29 points on these boys. But let's be real. I didn't have concerns about the Cowboys' offense. I truly didn't. I said if 4 is back there, we can rewind the tape for all those doubters out there. If 4 is there, there's always going to be a chance.
My biggest concern is the Cowboys have been notorious for playing down to their competition. See, they'll get up for the Buccaneers, and everything will be on 100.
And that's silly.
And then you go and play a team like the Chargers, and you blow coverages, and you don't get, you do stuff. Like the Cowboys have been notoriously known to go and play one team and play lights out, and then go play someone who you're like, oh, this should be a slam dunk. We should mouse in the house these jokers all day. And they walk out of there with a loss.
And that's if you're the Cowboys at this moment right now in 2021, where you haven't won a playoff game in 3 years and only won in the last, I don't know, since 2014. So if you're the Cowboys and you're going into any game big-headed, thinking that these guys are below us, let's just be real. As Cowboy fans, you may feel like you're better than the Chargers or whatever, right? But if you're an outsider looking in, you're probably not seeing much of a dang on difference, right? Because what have the Cowboys done? You know what I mean? So you shouldn't be going into this game thinking that, you know what, I can kick my feet back. We can just go out here and just roll them over. Absolutely not. That would be, as somebody said here, that's coaching. If Mike McCarthy lets these boys go into this game thinking that they got it, in my opinion, did you lose the locker room already? You know what I mean? So I think that Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, Kellen Moore, they need to get back in there. All that yapping we saw on HBO, get back in there and coach them up and come out here. They have a chance, though. I don't want to get too far ahead, but there is no Tom Brady's. And this was going to be the one, we said it, 31-21, 31-24 was 31-29. They fought even harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had an absolute chance to win this game at the end. So I don't think that the Cowboys should come out of these 24 hours with their heads hanging low. Hold your heads high to 17 games. I said this before. Week 1, 2020, Tampa Bay got blown out. Blown out by the New Orleans Saints. Went on to win the Super Bowl. Not saying the Cowboys going to win the Super Bowl.
But you saying the Cowboys won the Super Bowl?
No. I said Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl.
Oh.
But what I'm saying is they had a great
you can say it.
season.
You can say it. Put it on record.
No. That's not me. I
You
always,
don't believe it?
I always, no, not right now.
So you don't believe it?
Not right now.
Okay.
Right, not right. I'm of the ilk like you show me. And that's what's funny about everybody else.
I'm from Missouri, baby.
Basically, everybody
I'm from
says
Missouri.
Tampa got to
by
show
way of New Jersey.
Me. Tampa got to show. No, you know who got to show me? The Cowboys.
The ones who haven't won it.
The Cowboys got to show. Why are y'all asking for the Super Bowl champs to show you they're the Super Bowl champs? Cowboys got to show me. So, you know, it was live though. It was live here at Texas Live. Revolver Brewhouse. What's going on, fellas? Love the belt, man. Y'all got the dub today. It was live here, man. If you didn't check us out today, come through next week. But, man, if you don't get here by week 3, you ain't going to be able to get in this thing. No. You're just not. It was absolutely packed, and we want to thank Revolver for having us, and we're going to continue to rock out here each and every game with my guy, Jesse Holley.
We want to also shout out our waitress, Tiara. Give her some love.
I didn't catch her name.
Yeah. Shout out Tiara.
And our bartender, Jonathan.
Our bartender, Jonathan, and Tiara. When I tell you, this place was packed. And you know what she said? She said, I'm sorry that your fry took a little bit longer.
It didn't take that long.
And it didn't take long at all. But she said, one fell off and hit me in the back of my hand, and it wasn't hot. And she said, I sent them back and got you a fresh batch.
Ooh. I got to give him one of these.
I said, you know what? From now on, that's who we want. We want you.
Tiara.
We want Tiara.
We want Tiara. We want Jonathan.
That's who. That's all.
Those are our guys and gals.
Guys and gals.
Those are our guys and gals.
Shout out to them. Shout out to Tiara. Shout out to Jonathan. We appreciate you.
Indeed. I'm taking a look at a few of these comments before we get out of here. Mark says, guys, this game means nothing. I don't say it means nothing. It's a non-conference game. It's a conference game. So
but no, time out.
I'm just going to stop right there.
Because here's the thing. Mark says, this game means nothing. If you would have won this game, it
would have meant everything.
You would have streaked down your neighborhood. They'd have called the cops on you for screaming so loud. You'd have been naked and jumping off cars and all this. So don't tell me that didn't mean anything. It had to mean something because if they would have won, you'd have been saying, oh, I told you. Come on, Mark. Don't do that.
Mark, we love your support, brother, but your whole comment started off just not well. Just not well. Michael says, I see why Parcells hated kickers. Yeah, man. Yeah. It was at a point where I was thinking, do you start looking at kickers? But we're not going to go down that whole line. Stevie Mack said, bartender just chilling back there watching the whole time. That's our guy, man. Jonathan, that's our guy. That's our guy. Stephen A. says 7 points, not Stephen A. Smith. He going to have a ball tomorrow. 7 points left on the board from the kicker. 1 turnover to end the half. Moore is also notorious for being a poor play caller in the red zone. Yeah. I mean, you talked about it earlier. It's the same things over and over that we're seeing in this game, but hopefully they can correct them moving forward. I mean, it's living by the hope creed. I don't like to live by the hope creed. We
hope things go well.
We hope nobody's sitting in our seats.
I want to live by the wish factor.
The wish. We wish would come up here and put 9 in the box so Dak can go over the top. We wish you would not have 7 sitting or have 8 in the box so that we can run it. You know what I mean? We need the Cowboys to.
We wish you would go one-on-one with our DBs.
Right.
With our receivers all day long.
Right. Living by the hope creed, man. With that said, guys, we are going to head out of here. This has been. Look, my voice is gone. Y'all going to catch me tomorrow morning on the A to Z Sports Live morning show. I'm going to try to drink some water.
I told Zach, I said, hey, if you need me in the morning, come on. I don't know, Zach.
I'm going to blow his phone up. Blow his phone up.
I might recant my statement. Don't hold me to that.
Well, I'll be here. Hey, I got a new drink. I got a new, not coffee, but energy drink.
No, we can't. They're not paying us.
Telling them yet. I'm not saying the name.
Yeah,
you know how that goes. Well, this is all we putting down right here. But I'm gonna have that, so I think I'll be cool in the morning and a refreshed mind. The emotions calm down because he ain't lying. I was in here listen, man. Y'all know me. You know how I get during the games. I cannot sit down.
We're the complete opposite.
I know.
Like you were standing up. jumping around. You had your cowboy towel. You're waving the towel, and you're just like back and forth. You're down there high-fiving somebody. You're talking to the guy in a Tom Brady jersey.
Little kids.
You little kids. I seen you jump on the bar one time and do a split. You were twerking over here on the.
Let's see.
All right, I'm tripping.
Nah, I ain't tripping.
All right.
They out there laughing at me now. I wasn't out here twerking.
He twerked, didn't he? You saw him twerking? All right, never mind.
Now, had we won.
And I'm just sitting here cool, calm, and collective. I got up a couple times.
Can't do it.
But you're going to be tired because you literally spent nothing. I was nothing. It's okay. It's all right. No, it's okay.
I ran about 500 yards a day. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You ran more than Zeke.
Dang.
You had more rushing yards than Zeke.
I gotta hit you with one of these on that one. That was deep. That was deep.
They should have put you in the game.
They ain't lying though. I mean, they could have me call the plays, but they ain't not gonna go there, you know. On Madden, I go to the outside. He wanted to go up the middle, but it is what it is, man. I'm gonna go ahead and press this button. We appreciate y'all joining us for the Game Day Live A to Z Sports. This was a post-game show brought to you by Freeman Mazda over there in Irving, Texas. Shout out to our guys over there. Hey, Jesse.
It's our first one.
Week 1.
Man.
It was a beast. It was nice.
It was nice.
It was nice. See you next week?
Maybe.
Nah, he come back.
I'll be back.
We'll make him come back. Matter of fact, I might make him call in tomorrow.
It's not happening.
I'm gonna wake him up. I got his number. I call him. Let me get out of here, though. Let me press this button, man. We appreciate y'all, man.
Thank you.
Tune in tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central, A to Z Sports Live on YouTube. Rock with us. If you're here and you don't know where to find us, just take a picture of that big thing right there.
Yeah, that right.
That big thing right there.
Not me. That thing.
Oh, you see you. No, it's me.
I see you looking.
I
see you looking.
Come on, muscles.
I see you looking.
Love you, Cowboys Nation.
That's real.
We out.